Okay, welcome. Today we're going to be looking at Interzoid's AI interactive data client and using it to retrieve company registration numbers from the Companies House database, which is an official entity which maintains these registration numbers, sometimes known as CRNs, for all companies that are doing business in England and Wales, even if they're international, but mostly specified or focused on for companies in the United Kingdom. And because the AI interactive data client can get data from any subject in any kind of data fields in a very structured way, it makes it an ideal way to find these actual numbers. These numbers are important because once you've retrieved a number for a given organization, that enables you to get more information or more data that's part of that company's registration, official registration information. And then these numbers can also be used to append third-party data, to match data across different data sets and so forth. And so it's a very useful thing. And because we're using the AI interactive data client, you will need an API key since it's using an API behind the scenes. Easy to get, just go to interzoid.com. And it's how you can get free trial credits. It's how we track usage, and it's essentially a license key for accessing the product. So it's pretty easy to do. The first thing that we're going to do is describe using natural language the type of data that we're looking for, or a way to describe the general category of data we want to be working with. That's really going to help the AI algorithms and knowledge bases do their work. And so let's start by typing United Kingdom Companies House data. And of course, this is something you can experiment, different ways to ask for data. That's the whole point, is it's kind of free form and you can experiment to try to get the data that you want. Now, when we run this, we're going to put a lookup value here. And this will essentially be the company name that we're looking up. And then we're going to want some output data fields to appear. Now this can be anything we want, but of course, since we're looking for these CRNs, we'll put company registration number first. Okay, that'll be the first field that we retrieve. And again, the data will be returned in structured form, so that's very important. And we're going to add another data field here. We might want to add, again, it can be anything we want, but let's just add a company website URL. That might help us reference the company to make sure we do indeed have the right company. Since company names can be similar, there's different derivations of a company, the holding company and so forth. And so that'll help us make sure we have the right one. Along that same concept, maybe it's a good idea to also retrieve the company address. And then if we want to know a little bit more about the company who we are looking up, we can add another data field such as company description. Okay. And that's pretty much it. That's all we need to do. We can save this configuration so we can use it over and over. And let's simply type in a lookup value. Maybe one we all know, Barclays Bank. And then I'm going to click. Oh, one more thing I need to do. We need to choose the model that we're going to be working with. And there's more descriptions about these models in the menu here. You can get more of the details about each one of these models. But for now, for this quick demo, let's just choose Model A Premium. And you'll see several of these models have premium associated with it. That's because they incorporate web search into the model. And so that makes it a little bit more comprehensive in the data that you can get, although it does use a few more credits. So the idea is to experiment with the models, try different ones, and see which bring back the best data for your particular use case. And then that's the one that you can use. But you can exchange or change the models that you use at any time. So let's go ahead and run this simple example. I'll just click run, and it'll go out and start to get the data. And it will take a couple seconds because it's going out to the web. Okay, and you'll see the data that came back. We've got the registration number we were looking for, so this is the official Companies House registration number that's been officially recorded. Here's the website, the Barclays website, that looks correct. Company address, 1 Churchill Place, that sounds about right. And we get some description information, and this is text form. If I want to look at it in more of a pretty view, we'll call it, I can see some of the values here, scroll down, and then it makes it a little easier to read. For example, Barclays Bank provides retail banking, business banking, corporate banking, and so on. It's a little bit easier to see that data. Now there's a couple important things to point out. Again, we got the data we were looking for. If you scroll down, you can actually see a generated API call that was used by this web tool to get that actual data. And you can see you simply need license equals your API key. Topic is a parameter. Here's the lookup value, and that's what will change, of course, if you integrate this into something. Run multiple data points or data elements through it. Maybe it's connected to a web form so that every company that signs up on your website, you can immediately retrieve the registration number. And then the output you simply is a list that corresponds to the output data fields out here on the left. And again, this is a JSON REST API. The data will come back in a way that makes it easy to integrate into analytics applications, CRM, logistics, any type of place where you want to make use of this data. And then one other thing, let's say you have an entire file. You can also use this configuration. Go back up here under Resources, and here under AI Data Enrichment Dataset Batch Mode, you could take an entire CSV file and append the same data to every single record. It might even just be, a list of a few hundred company names that you want to append the number to. So that makes it quite easy to do this. And then once you've created and refined your exact way that you like to get the data with your self-defined custom fields that you want, then there's a lot of ways to put that to use. Again, if you have any questions or want to see how you might be able to work with us on this, you can go to Interzoid.com. The tool itself is at data.interzoid.com, so all you need is the API key, and it's pretty easy to get an API key. And of course, you can explore the underlying API, and there's a step-by-step guide that'll walk you through it as well that you can take a look at. And that's pretty much it. Pretty easy to get any data that you want, and specifically in this case, the company registration numbers that are stored and recorded within the Companies House data. Again, Interzoid.com, and thanks for watching.